Hello folks and welcome. So Linux Mint 21.1 Xfce desktop today. So I'm going to be talking about custom themes, custom icons, and custom mouse pointers or cursors. I'm Icelandic, so I sometimes describe things a little differently. But more importantly, I understand that a lot of people don't like to change their Xfce desktop. It's not their cup of tea, but there are some folks that like a little color. So I'll give you an example of my Mint menu and my file manager just as an example right now. Alt F4 to close. So I'm currently using the Sweet Amber Blue theme with the eye candy icons or candy icons. A little pun on words there. I understand, again, this is not everybody's cup of tea, and but some people would like to add some color to their desktop. So I'm going to show you all that in this video. I'm going to show you a website where you can get the theme icons and also mouse cursors or mouse pointers, all from the same location. And I believe most of your Linux distros get that from the same location. Could be wrong, but I believe that's where they get that from. And I've been using mouse cursors there for years. So 1920 by 1080 is what I'm filming in today. My video will be more than 2 minutes. All my videos have timelines and chapters. Today's user is Mr. Mark. It's just a made-up name. So welcome, folks. Alt F4 to close is my first tip. I'll have a couple of more tips for you. So the Mint icon is green. You can actually find it by right-clicking, going through Properties, and go to Appearance, and you can find that icon, or you can install your own. That's all up to you. I've shown that in the past also. So I'm going to click on the settings and talk about appearance first, and then I'll talk about touchpad and mouse pointers or cursors. So we have lots of styles. Again, some folks don't like to change anything. So if you wanted to add some themes, I'll show you a website. You can download some files, and you can certainly use the add key, or you can use my method, which I normally install all my themes and icons and styles and cursors through the file manager in bulk. I usually do more than one or two at a time, but I'm going to show one at a time today. So this is Sweet Amber Blue. This is the dark version of that. So that would be file manager, and I'll resize the icons on the fly. I'll show you what I'm doing here in a minute. Alt F4 to close, and Mint menu in the dark. I have one more to show you that I've installed, which is in the same suite. If you get in the hint, it's called Sweet Mars. File manager, Alt F4, Mint menu, close. So I'm going to first switch to the lighter color theme. It's just something that I want to do. You know, everybody has a different preference. And I want to drag this box to the center and talk about icons for a second. So you have a ton of icons that are installed by Linux Mint. Most of these, I say Mint something on. You got tons of them in there. So I got two of these installed in here, which I'm looking for one of them. It's called Sweet Rainbow. And looks like I failed to install it. Well, I will fix this. As a matter of fact, it would be a good exercise to install that. But I have another one in here. And that one is called the candy icons. So where is this stuff installed? Well, both this and that are installed in one location. And in the same location that I have this mouse cursor installed also. All right, I'll talk about that in a little bit here. So I'll use the conventional close button. What's another method of closing? Alt F4. So click. So the first thing I'm going to advocate as you, as a user, make sure that you have these files and folders. So I'm going to use Control H. I've shown this many times. That's to show hidden files and folders. Control H. I want you to make sure that you have two folders installed, and you probably won't have that one installed and this one installed, which you can right-click and create folder. Start with a period or a dot. I want you to create a .icons folder if you don't have it. I've shown this many times on many Linux distros. That's where you normally install your mouse cursors or mouse pointers. I'm also going to show how you can install these Well, these themes for your folders in here also. So create yourself a .icons folder. Then create another folder called .themes. Make sure it's spelled the same way, .themes. So what exactly is in these folders? So what's in these folders is I have the Sweet Amber Blue. Let me resize that. Sweet Amber Blue, Dark, and Mars. What am I doing by resizing? I'm holding down my control key while using my scroll wheel on my computer mouse. You can also use your touchpad. Hold down the control key using 2 fingers and slide your fingers up and down on the touchpad while holding the control key. Alright, that's another tip for you. If you needed to resize this icon instead of aiming for that button there, just double click on that line. Okay, another tip for you. Alright, so I'm going to resize this to a fairly comfortable size. So make sure you have these 2 installed. So my themes are going to go in here in .themes, and then in my .icons I have my mouse cursor and my icon set for Candy. That's what you're currently viewing. These are Candy icons. Eye candy, Candy icons. A little pun on words. That's what these folders look like. So that's literally what I'm using right now. Alright, so you created these folders, they're empty. So where do you get the files? So my files I'm going to re-download from scratch. So we can do this together. I am going to open up Firefox. Your icon will look different. I am going to go to my own YouTube site, which I created back in February. Okay, if you don't know anything about me, I have the About here, and I made this channel on Feb 9. My previous channel had more than 450 videos on it, so my current channel is 164, so I've done over 600 videos in the last several years. So if you're using a standard web browser and you can see these links, click the little foot. It goes to gnome-look.org. If not, go to the About section and go look for links down here. Gnome-look.org is a non-profit website which I believe most Linux distributions use to retrieve cursors and themes. Let me resize the text for you using the same method as my file manager. Holding down that control key and using the scroll wheel. 798, there used to be about 1,200 of these things about 4 years ago. And under the GDK 3 and 4, you have 1,530. There are other themes in here. So what I'm going to do is resize this on the fly. And instead of using this search feature, I want you to use this one. If you're wanting to install this Sweet theme, just type in the word Sweet and hit enter. If it doesn't result like this, then put your mouse pointer kind of, click in here and put your cursor right about in here and type the same word and hit enter. Sometimes it produces different results. I don't know why. But I'm going to first get the theme, then I'm going to go to the folder and then icons. So Sweet New Flavor. So there should be 12 folders as of today's date. And today's date is June 7th, 2023. So there are 12 files. I'm just going to demo downloading 1 or 2. I'm going to use the first one is the dark version 40, which I already have installed, and the Mars theme. These are themes. Then I'm going to hit the back arrow key on my web browser and go to the Sweet folders because I don't have this one. I thought I had it. That's the folder I was looking for earlier. Is the Rainbow Sweet folder. It goes with this theme kind of nicely. So again, this is a folder icon theme. Folder theme. Alright, and then Candy icon. And there's only one file there. And download that. They're very colorful icons. Alright, see this mouse pointer or cursor? It's called radioactive. So R-A-D-I-O. And again, if it doesn't find it the first time, click that again and look at that. That's a weird kind of result, but it does work when you're looking for things in the search field. It's kind of strange, actually. So radioactive is the name of this one. This has a very good description of what I've been talking about. Your home folder.icons is where these cursors or pointers need to go. also your icon sets. The other folder that you can install this in is in user share icons. They're called system-wide installations. I used to show this on previous videos several years ago. It's not in favor anymore, but that's normally where your regular icons or mouse cursors are installed. And this has root permissions. It's easier to install it here. Whatever you feel like doing. But I'm going to show this method today. The file that you want is this one right here. So I'm going to download that also. And I'm going to download one more mouse file, mouse cursor, Xfce. So I'm kind of fond of this one. It does tricks. So that's the 182 file. That's the ending number of that file. And they have a fixed 32 and a 48. That means the size of the cursor, if you download and use that file, you cannot resize the pointer size. This one you can. So I'm going to wait until it loads. I'll resize this on the fly. It's now 110%, and that's 170%. Just to give you examples of what I'm doing here. I'm using my control key and my computer mouse to resize. That's the 182 file that I was referring to. So I'm going to download that one and install it because I don't have it installed. So I'm waiting for the downloads to complete. What's another way to close this web browser instead of using that red X in the corner? Alt F4. Let's do some installing. Let's go to downloads for a second. Let me first unextract this Xfce mouse cursor. Let's take a look at the folder. If it's got an index and a cursor, that means it's extracted properly. So let me go back in here and right click and cut it and go to Mark's home folder and dump it in dot icons. Make it bigger for you. Paste. So now I have 2 mouse pointers and 1 candy icon, all in the same folder. Let me grab the other one. Let me resize that on the fly. I can make this bigger for you if you like. The Sweet Rainbow is a folder theme. Let me extract that one. And let me extract the Amber Blue Dark just to let you see the differences. They're both folders, but they have very different files in them. So this one has an index theme, places, and a 16, versus this one here has a GDK 2, 3, and 4. That means this is a theme. All right, so that's the one I want for my icons cursors, or sorry, the icons. In other words, these guys. So I'm going to take and cut this Sweet Rainbow and place it in my dot icons folder. So now I currently have 2 mouse cursors or pointers, this one, and then 2 icon themes. And the other folder has the themes of the Sweet Amber, Blue, Dark, and Mars, which I have the files, but I've already extracted them, and I also have the radioactive also extracted earlier. I'm just giving you examples of downloading and extracting. And a lot of these things are sometimes in different formats. That's in tar.xc, that's in tar.gz. You'll also see zip and other different types. That's in tartar. So these are all compressed files. But the system knows how to uncompress them. A lot of times too is when you are downloading mouse cursor themes, there'll be several inside of the compression. There'll be several folders. That's why I always open these to make sure that, not this one, like this right here. I'll extract it again. I always make sure that I can see an index theme here. If I see another folder, that means I'm going to open up the second folder, and then when I see that, I cut the folder out. Hopefully that made sense. All right, with all that stuff said, and hopefully I didn't confuse you, you created this folder and this folder, and you put in your mouse cursors and your icon theme sets in here. And then your themes go in here. Close, and now I'm going to give you a demo on this one. I'm going to change this back up to standard icons. I'll make this a little bit smaller, drop it to the side, and then open up this box right here and go to appearance. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from candy icons, what you're currently viewing, to the ones that say Sweet Rainbow on them, this one. and then I'm going to close this window. And I'll make this bigger and resize the icons. Now I'm going to change the theme to dark so you can see the different versions of this. They're almost neon colored. I'm going from dinky to large using my control key and my scroll wheel, or you can do it the old-fashioned way. Click zoom in now. All right, so that is the rainbow. The rainbow icon set. The other one was called candy icons. That one. Switch that back to amber blue. Alt F4 to close. Resizing icons. So Alt F4. Now let me talk about cursors. And if I didn't make mention of it, it's pretty simple to change that. Right click, properties, appearance. You can click that and you can even add your own icons. Just click that and go find different icons from the system. You can also click in here for image files. All right, close. And you can add your own text if you want. Now, let me go to here and to here. So since I installed the radioactive and the Xfce in my .icons folder, then I can pick them from here. The reason I don't install them in here is because I can add multiple mouse cursors at the same time. That's why I use my file manager more often to do this with. But nonetheless, however you install yours, they will appear in this menu if they're installed properly. When I do it through the file manager and extract them, I normally have I have a 99% success rate. So this is radioactive and it's resizable. You can see it's shrinking. It goes to 16. And that one goes up to 72. Now, since I installed the Xfce that's resizable versus the other ones were fixed, I told you there was a fixed 32 and a 48. So this will be the 48 size. It works for most things. And the other one was, I think, 32. But again, this would not be resizable. Even though I could play with the numbers, this wouldn't change if I downloaded those files. This again is installed in .icons. The rest of these are installed in the user share icons folder, protected by root permissions. Again, that's why I advocate that you install your cursors in your .icons folder so you can have control over it. You can also delete these at will. You can add as many cursors and you can delete as many cursors. So Control H. So if I had 16 of these mouse cursors sitting in here, all I need to do is highlight them and delete them very quickly. Very quickly. I don't believe there's a delete key in here. There's an add. Is there a remove? I don't see a remove if I have something in here. No. But more importantly, that's the other reason that I use my file manager. Let me switch this back. And I'm back to where I had my icon sets. You also want to be very careful when you're switching things. If the things freak out on you, it's always best to close the window and then start and redo your theme in here. Yeah, keep in mind, this is an Xfce distribution. Not everything happens lightning fast. But in general, this does a fairly good job with the stuff that I throw at it. Okay, so the amber, blue, dark, and sweet Mars can all be found on the gnome-look.org website. Handwrite it down, hit subscribe, your choice. Lots of themes and cursors are in here. Alt F4 to close. Okay, there you have it. Short and sweet. Create those two folders right here, the icons and themes, and you can go start playing. All you need to do is download some themes. Just remember which one goes where. And you can always, if you misplace and put something in the wrong folder, you can always cut it and place it and put it in the other folder. That's what file managers are good for. All right, folks. Thank you for watching.